Welcome to Finding Your Worth From Within, the podcast where I'm going to be helping you up-level your life, find your true self, and ignite the best version of you. I'm your host, Amasana, your go-to self-worth mentor, facilitating hundreds of women to unlock your self-belief, master your emotions, and take back control of negative thoughts. We're going to be covering everything self-worth for South Asian women, how to ditch your self-doubt, kick other people's judgment to the curb, and learn how to finally use your voice clearly and with confidence. With the practical tools and spiritual teachings that I give you in this podcast, don't be surprised when this magic begins to massively elevate your life. So whether you're going for a walk, driving home, or listening with a cup of coffee, let's get stuck in. Hello and welcome. On today's episode, we're going to be diving into what the purpose of your subconscious mind is and why it plays such an important role in your self-worth and the beliefs that you have about yourself today. When it comes to beliefs, we all have our own that run through our mind, whether they're good or bad, whether they're empowering or fear-based. Now, these beliefs will be our default setting in our mind, and they're running our mind, our habits, our reality, whether we realize it or not. So, for example, you have thoughts like, I don't articulate myself well, or I don't know how to pick good outfits for myself, and these almost create a story for you. So where did these beliefs come from? When have they been created? How have they come about? Because you sure wasn't born with them, but somewhere along the way, you've let them become your story and you've let them become your personality almost, because you might begin to say, oh, I'm not the kind of person that picks good outfits. I don't know how to dress myself well. Or, oh, I'm not very good in conversation. I'm not the type of person who can articulate myself well. So these beliefs actually become your personality. So this is where the subconscious mind comes in. Many of you may know we've got two types of mind, the conscious and the subconscious. Now, there's different studies on this with different percentages, but our conscious mind is 10% of our brain, whilst the subconscious is a whopping 90%. So some of the studies vary and say it's 95% and 5%. But you get the gist, right? It's a whopping 90% or 95% that is our subconscious mind. So what's the difference between them? Your conscious mind, the tiny 10%, is the daily chitter-chatter in your head. The daily thoughts that are telling you, I don't have time, I'm too tired, do I really think I'll manage that? All these things that you know you think and pop up in your brain are in your conscious mind. So imagine how overwhelmed you are with thoughts. That's actually only 10% of your brain. Even though they're at the forefront of your mind, they are deep-rooted to something in your subconscious. They're deep-rooted to a belief or a memory in your subconscious. So the mind-bone part of your brain, the part of your subconscious mind, the whopping 90%, this is made up of everything that you've ever done, ever been taught, or ever seen. For example, when you're working in an office block, you might have your laptop or your desktop in front of you, and you're all wired, the whole office is wired to the same software, right? So your conscious mind is your laptop, is your desktop. You open up the windows, you type on it, you send emails, you know what you're doing. Now, your subconscious mind is everything that's running in the comms room. It's all the hard drives, all the racks, all the wires, everything that is running all of those desktops. The subconscious is where memories live, where beliefs live, situations, scenarios, ideas, everything lives in here. For example, if somebody said to you, have you seen my keys? You don't realize you're doing it, but next time somebody asks you a question, be mindful of this. You stop, you pause, you think, because your brain is retrieving and it's scanning your subconscious. And then you might reply, oh yeah, I saw them on the island in the kitchen, or they were underneath the TV, because your brain has scanned all of that information that has been stored in your subconscious that you didn't logically stop and look at, but it's there. So I don't know if you've ever watched the film Limitless with Bradley Cooper. It's a brilliant watch to understand the subconscious mind, because when he takes a drug called NZT, he can access whatever he has learned, seen or heard in the past, because it's all locked in there. So if you haven't watched it, make sure you go and watch that one. It's the same thing when it comes to your beliefs. Most beliefs are created from your childhood. Even if we don't know it or realize it, from the age of 0 to 7, we're in something called a theta state. So we take things quite seriously. We take things quite factually. We don't have a sponge. We don't have a filter. We don't know if someone's being sarcastic or joking. And anything that's said to us is taken very matter-of-factly. And that's what creates our beliefs. Now, it isn't always just things that are said to us. It's things that we learn, see, and experience around us as well. So these comments, references, and situations then create beliefs in our mind because as children, like I said, we've got no filter. And whatever's being said or heard, we understand and we take it matter-of-factly. Sometimes these beliefs that have been created from childhood are your own and you've created them. Sometimes they can have been given to you. They can have been given by parents, grandparents, teachers at school. I unknowingly actually did this with my daughter when she was younger, like before I stepped into the world of self-development, before I knew anything about the way beliefs worked. We used to do our homework and she used to struggle a little with comprehension and she was a lot better and faster at maths. And she caught me referencing that and saying that a few times that, oh, she's better at maths or she struggles with comprehension. And I remember actually saying it to her as well, like, you struggle a bit with comprehension, don't you? But she took that on and she made that her story. She made it her belief that I struggle at comprehension. And as years went on, I saw that reflecting in her daily work at school. And it's only when I got into this world of self-development that I realised what we'd done and realised what I'd done. And I was like, oh my God, we need to fix this. So we've worked hugely on reprogramming that. And now she's absolutely amazing at comprehension. So you tell a kid they're anxious, they'll become an anxious adult. You tell a kid they're shy, they'll become a shy adult. You tell a kid they're not good enough and they'll become an adult who doesn't believe they're good enough. As we've said, your beliefs are created at a young age and you won't actively bring them to the forefront of your mind, but this is what your behaviours are based on. So this is how your conscious and subconscious work together and are very closely linked because your conscious is the daily chit-chatter. We've spoke about this. We know this. We understand this. It's what's running in our brains all the time. But they're actually linked to deep-rooted conscious beliefs. So imagine you had the conscious thought that, would I even get that promotion if I applied? This belief is attached to something deeper in your subconscious. Why is it that you think you won't get that promotion? It's more than likely linked to something, a feeling of worthiness or deserving. Maybe deep down you think you're not good enough for the promotion. So let's take that and let's run with it. Say, for instance, the belief is you're not good enough. And that's been running in the background of your subconscious. That's been running in the background of your adulthood because it was created in your childhood. And as you've grown up through teenage years, we know they're difficult enough as it is. This belief has been cemented because things have happened that have strengthened it for you. But as an adult, that's actually what's driving your behavior, but it's not in the forefront of your mind. What's in the forefront of your mind is, will I even get that promotion? Would I even get that? Would I be all right? Do you think I can do that? Whereas in your subconscious, what's running that is, you're not good enough. If you take it back to the computer analogy, when working with a computer, if something goes wrong, you want it fixed straight away. If there's an error message, a software problem, you want it fixed ASAP because it's not performing the way it should. So why is it that with yourself, you take those error messages, you take the negative beliefs and just accept them for who you are? You create your story, you make it your personality. In actual fact, if you can reprogram a computer, then what's stopping you from doing it for yourself as well? And this is exactly what I do with clients when I work with them. We rewrite their subconscious beliefs. Imagine you're a Jenga tower and you've got all of these blocks full of beliefs, and the top blocks are your conscious beliefs. You can take them off and move them around all day long, right? You can remove them and say, oh no, I want to think differently. I'm going to put this in place instead. Use affirmations to just pop on top. But really, until you work on, fix or change the foundation of that Jenga tower, nothing's going to change at all. Until you work on the bottom blocks, all you're doing is just replacing the top ones, and that's only going to work surface level. which is why in the work that I do with clients, it's so important to identify the core limiting belief, the one that's rooted, because when we work on that, we can throw shade on it, we can wobble these bottom blocks, and we can knock them over and start again. Start with a new empowering belief and build that Jenga tower back up. Then put the affirmations on, and it works beautifully because you've built yourself a brand new belief system. You've built yourself a new belief system that you want to run your life with, your new reality with. So the biggest takeaways from this episode is that your subconscious mind is running your behaviors in ways that you didn't even realize. I would suggest to pull out a pen and paper or the notes app in your phone and start noting down the daily negative thoughts that you are aware of so that you can begin to understand what's running through your mind, what is going on in your subconscious, and understand where they are rooted from in the first place. And lastly, remember that beliefs are just stories that we've created. They're not factual. They're opinion-based, created from personal experiences and situations. So if you hold the perspective that your beliefs are not facts and they are simply stories, then you can rewrite your story. You can tell yourself any story that you want. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Thank you for listening, and remember to leave a review, share, and subscribe. See you next time. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Finding Your Worth from Within. If today's message resonated with you, it would mean the world to me if you could follow, rate, and leave a review. Sharing the podcast with someone that you feel may benefit is the best way to help it grow and spread this important message. To stay connected between episodes, come hang out with me on Instagram @unknowingly. Can't wait to see you there.